Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new. My name is Becca. I've got paint on my fingers because I was painting my trash cans because our trash cans happened to get stolen. So we had to get them, we had to find them. So I painted numbers onto the trash cans. So welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody had a wonderful and safe week. Today I am just popping on to make a video. Just wanted to chat, talk to you about macros, tracking macros, tracking calories, how I plan my macros, how I plan to stay on track, and the best, well, in my opinion, the best way to be prepared when you are tracking your macros. So I'm going to keep it super simple, super easy. This isn't going to be hopefully a super long video, but so I started a 12-week sculpt and shred with Empowered Fitness. That is the gym that I am a part of. I teach grit. We have grit strength every Tuesday at 6:45, and we have grit cardio every Thursday at 6:45 p.m. both nights I teach. We also have 6 a.m. classes on Tuesday and Thursday for grit as well, along with various lift classes. So I pretty much just wanted to get on here and talk about how this last week went with hitting macros. It was a little rocky at first because I have off and on tracked macros, but I was not, the most super strict with doing them. I would mainly do it just to be sure that I am, staying within a minimum amount. And if I felt like I put on a little bit of weight, I would track just to kind of shed that off. But I'm really trying to lose more than just like 2 to 3 pounds. I'm trying to lose upwards of about 10 to 15. Now, obviously, the scale is just a basic tool. The scale does not, even with a full body scale, full body scale, like unless you go and get like a DEXA scan or you go to any facility like that where you can get your whole body scanned and everything like that, you're most likely, your scale isn't going to give you a full detail, but there are scales that will help to track water weight, BMI, muscle, and everything like that. So even with one of those scales, it is still, excuse me, it is still a good tool to use, but it's not the end all be all. Taking measurements is great as well. I usually take my measurements roughly about once a week. I weigh myself beginning of the week, midweek, and end of the week, just to really have an idea of where I'm at, because every day your weight can fluctuate. So say for instance you are 175 pounds and you want to drop down. Monday you could be 175, Tuesday you could be 176, Wednesday you could be 173, Thursday you could be 172, Friday you could be back up to 175, and Saturday you're back down at 173. Find your average. Find your average between those numbers. Like if you're seeing a consistent, say 173, but one day spiked up a little bit higher, one day spiked up a little bit lower, take your average. So your average would be around 173. So you had a 2-pound loss for that week. It does not take into account of hormonal changes, especially if you are a female, if that is your time of the month. It does not take into water weight. Have you taken a poop that morning? Have you peed that morning? Did you eat before you weighed yourself? There's so many factors that go into it. You will be lighter in the morning than you are at night because you have your day's worth of food and water in your system. Now, I always encourage everybody to shoot for 48 ounces of water a day. I shoot for about 64. Now, obviously, the more you pee, the less you have to deal with people's crap because you're too busy peeing to deal with people's drama. But for real, I try and drink about 64 ounces of water a day because I'm very active, and I try to be as active as I can in and out of my truck. Because I am a dump truck driver, I am going back to school to upgrade my commercial license from a CDLB to a CDLA so that I can go to a bigger truck, meaning a truck and a trailer. I'm just in a dump truck, there is no trailer. I'm trying to go to something bigger. But I try and stay as active as I can in and out of the truck because it is so easy to become very sedentary when you are a truck driver. You get very complacent and you get very comfortable. So I try to stay very mindful about being active in and out of the truck. You know, I make it a non-negotiable to work out every morning. If I have to be in at work at 6, I'm up by 4:30 every morning. I get a workout done. All of my food is all prepped and packed. My coffee is already being made because it's on a timer. I grab and take my vitamins. I get a vitamin pack. So MTS Nutrition, I get their Immortal Vitamin Pack, and then I add in a collagen and a hair, skin, and nails, and I may add in a vitamin D and a vitamin C depending on the time of year. Between the months of November and March, I am taking extra vitamin C and vitamin D because we go into the wintertime on the East Coast. It gets dark earlier. I try and keep up on that because even though I am outside, seasonal depression, even though I struggle with anxiety, depression, we are not sure if I fall on a bipolar spectrum or a borderline personality spectrum. We still have to do testing on that. But I do have ADHD, anxiety, and depression. So during this time of year, especially, you know, obviously I am affected all year round, but it is a little bit more affected this time around for my depression, whereas my anxiety gets worse during the summer. I don't know why it works like that. I do not understand. But one, I think it's fascinating. But that's how it works for me. It is different for everybody. Always make sure you see a doctor, a licensed therapist, psychiatrist. Get yourself tested. Do not self-diagnose. I have been tested. So I have an idea. We need to do more testing to really figure out. But, you know, that's not what this video is about. But so that's what I take. I take the Immortal Vitamin Pack. My collagen varies. I use a couple of different brands. Sometimes I drink the chicory coffee with the collagen in it. Sometimes I just get the core nutrition collagen. Sometimes I get the NeoCell collagen, and sometimes I get the Obvi collagen. I use the Obvi collagen the most. I have a discount code. It'll be in the description below. That gives you a percentage off of your purchase. So Obvi is what I usually use unless I just don't feel like waiting for it to come in the mail, and then I go and just go to the store and I pick up a small thing of collagen. So I have that until my Obvi comes in, but Obvi ships pretty good. So I take my vitamin pack, vitamin C, vitamin D. During this time of year, I take vitamin C morning and night. And then I just take the vitamin D once a day. And then I put my collagen into my coffee. Sometimes I put protein in. Sometimes I have the chicory coffee with collagen, so I really don't worry about adding in extra coffee. It all depends on my mood that day, so it kind of varies. But the vitamins stay the same. It's just what I do with my coffee and my collagen. It changes because if I have the chicory coffee with collagen, I don't add any extra in. But I always track that within my macros. I take the Goli ashwagandha gummies, and I take the Goli apple cider vinegar, and I take the Goli superfood gummies. So I track those in because those count as carbs. They do have carbs that have a little bit of sugar. So when I do my Fitness Pal, I have the premium. They pretty much set it up so you have to have the premium now, but it is a good thing to have because you can break down your meals and you can put in your own macros. So I have 150 grams of carbs, 55 grams of fat, and 124 grams of protein. So when I break down my Fitness Pal, I break it down. My first one is coffee and vitamins. Then I have my breakfast, my lunch, my dinner, a midday snack, and an evening snack. That's how I break it down. You can break it down however you want. You can put your vitamins and everything in with your breakfast and not even have a separate thing. But that's what I do, because tracking those is so important because they have calories. Obviously, the collagen has carbs. Coffee does have some calories. There is, if it's less than a gram of carbs or anything, it says 0, but coffee does have 5 calories in it if it's plain black coffee. So I always track my coffee every single time. So I track my coffee, I put in my coffee, my collagen, and I put in all of my gummies. I don't worry about doing, the vitamin D and vitamin C unless they're in gummies. I don't worry about my hair, skin, and nails unless it's a gummy. So I do track my Goli vitamins. Shameless plug, I have a discount code for that, which will save you money at Goli.com. So that'll be in the description box as well. And I will just have my milkshake link so you can literally just go in and click all of that and see what you want. I do have some other supplements, but either way, I will have my Obvi and my Goli discount codes in the description box below. So I track all of those because those are carbs and those add into my carb. So how I do it is that I plan it all out the night before. I put in my breakfast and I put in my lunch. I usually don't worry about putting in my dinner because I am home to make that most nights. Tuesday night and Thursday night, because I teach grit, I usually try and have something prepared ahead of time. Or especially Thursdays, I tend to just do leftovers on Thursday, so I can easily just plug that in and go. Tuesdays, we actually do salads for the most part on Tuesdays, so I'll just put in whatever salad I get or whatever salad I make. Tuesday nights are salad nights for us. Me and my husband, he gets his salad how he wants, I get mine how I want. We have a good time. And obviously my son tends to, I always offer my son what I make, but a lot of times he is 3.5. I do the best I can. I always offer him the fruits and the vegetables and the healthy foods. But at the end of the day, I feel like as long as he eats, as long as he is healthy, as long as he is not, not healthy, I'm not really worried about it right now. I will get more strict on him with healthy habits as he gets older, but I want to make sure I give him as healthy habits when it comes to food and nutrition as possible, because I do not want him having an issue with food. So the less disordered and the less restrictive that I am, I feel like the better off he will be. And I try to be very, very conscious of things that I say and things that I do, because I want him to have a healthy relationship with his body and his food. So that's why I'm not strict on it right now. I'll be a little bit more stern as he gets bigger, but he's a toddler. Any other moms, we do the best I can. We do the best that we can do, because we love our kids, and at the end of the day, we just want them to be healthy and happy. But so I track everything. So I put in my breakfast and I put in my lunch, and then I see where I'm at. Some days I need a midday snack. Some days I need an evening snack. It really all depends on my activity level. Am I around the time of my cycle? What are my hormones doing? Have I been a little bit more active? Have I done more steps? So many factors go into that. And then I look and see what I have and what would be the best snack. So I try and do a high protein snack, and I usually try and keep it moderate carb to moderate fat. I'm usually on the lower carb, lower fat end if I can. If not, I try and just keep it very balanced straight across the board. And then I go from there with my dinner. So sometimes I will track in my dinner, because I think about what I'm going to make for dinner during the day. So I will have an idea. So if I want a midday snack, Where I fail is when I don't put in my dinner and I just go ahead and put in my snack, and then I screw myself for dinner, and I'm either over all of my macros or I'm over one and under the other. Now, obviously, this will be for a later video. You can swap out your macros. So if you want more fats than carbs, take away your carbs and add them to your fat, as long as it all evens out at the end of the day. But that'll be for a later video. So I have gotten into that earlier in the week, where I had a much higher calorie protein bar than I really expected, until after, I ate it and I tracked it, and I was like, well, crap, I just shot myself in the foot for that one. So, you really learn as you go. You learn how to do it, but I have learned to make sure everything is tracked. So I've learned to track in my dinner, put my dinner in, and then see where it falls for my snack, because that way I make sure I can hit all of my numbers as close as I possibly can, and that I don't end up being, if I'm over, I'm not hugely over, and if I'm under, I'm not hugely under. And if I am hugely under, like the other night, I didn't have very many carbs or fats because of the snack that I had earlier. I had peanut butter and crackers. So obviously I plugged that in. So when I got home from Grit on Thursday, I made my son his dinner, and I made eggs, spinach, and I had pickles. That was what I had left for my macros. And honestly, I was good. I was full. I was satiated. I was all right. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you've got a little bit more wiggle room where you can add in some extra treats. And then sometimes you don't have much wiggle room. It's all in how you plan out your day. But the good thing about macros is that you can make things work into each and every day. Like if you have been really eyeing up, and I use cheese balls as an example, if you've really been eyeing up cheese balls and you bought the bag of cheese balls and you're like, I'm going to put them in with my lunch. Say your lunch is left over from what you had for dinner. Say you made mashed potatoes, you did a mixed vegetable stir fry, and you had, like I made a diced tomato chicken with some cheese on it. Say you want to do those cheese balls, take away your potatoes. Go ahead and weigh and measure out your cheese balls, put them in a baggie, put them in a container, and then container up your chicken and your vegetables, and boom. You don't have your potatoes, but you've got your cheese balls. Or if you don't want a full serving of your cheese balls, do a half a serving of your potatoes and a half a serving of your cheese balls. So you get that craving kicked out of the way with your lunch, and you're good to go. And you don't feel like you're depriving yourself. You don't feel like you are restricting yourself, because it is all right there, and you can plan everything out. Like we are doing a Galentine's brunch tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go to Empowered, get a lift session in before I go. So I've already gotten a workout in. I usually take off Saturdays and Sundays. Some days I go. Like Saturdays, I just try and get some cardio done. I go for a walk. I use my Bowflex Max Climber, or I just do a walk, or I just do the Max Climber. It depends on what type of errands I have. I don't really have a lot to do this weekend, bless. But tomorrow, because we're going out to the Galentine's brunch, that is combining my breakfast and my lunch. And then I'm just going to do dinner. So I'm going to get my lift session in. One of my fellow coaches, Amber, she's got 2 happening tomorrow. So I'm just going to stay, do both, get myself cleaned up, and go to the Galentine's brunch. I'm going to track everything under lunch because it's a brunch. I'm not going to change everything around for one day. I'm just going to track it all under brunch. So I've got more to put for that brunch. So I'm just going to literally cut my macros in half. I will put half for dinner and half for lunch. So I'm allotting more carbs and fats for this brunch, and I will allot higher protein for my dinner, because tomorrow is the Super Bowl. So we're going over to my mother-in-law's house, and we're going to have shrimp and wings. So that's what we're doing. So I already know I'm going to have higher protein for lunch. I mean, for dinner, and I know I'm going to have higher carbs and fats for my brunch. So I'm going to kind of do it like that. I'm going to put less carbs and fats and more protein for my dinner, and more carbs and fats and less protein for the brunch, because I'm not entirely sure what they're going to have, but me and my girlfriend are going. My husband's staying home because it's a Valentine's lunch, so our men are staying home, and we're going out and having our brunch. So we're gonna have a good time. Me and my husband are doing something for Valentine's Day so we're going to, it's not going to be on Valentine's Day because he is on call for work that day. So we're going to do our Valentine's Day dinner after Grit. It's been a tradition the last couple years. We've been married for 4 years, together for 4.5. It's been tradition for the last couple years that we do a heart-shaped pizza. So instead of salads, we're going to do a heart-shaped pizza. So on Tuesday, I am going to make sure I've got higher protein and less carb and fat for my breakfast and my lunch, so that I've got those carbs and fats for dinner. It's just moving things around and making things work for your day so that you can still live your life. Because the thing is, the most important thing to do is make it fit your lifestyle. You never want to make your lifestyle fit around macros and your eating and your food plan and your workout schedule and everything like that. Like, there are days where I literally cannot work out in the morning, depending on when I have to be in at work, what I did the night before. If I was up a little bit later and I was just a little bit more tired, I will work out after work. So even though I make it a non-negotiable to work out in the morning, sometimes life gets in the way. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes life gets in the way, and I have to work out later in the day. That's just the way the cookie crumbles, because no matter what, things can't always be perfect. So it's just making it fit your lifestyle and making it fit your schedule. So that's how I'm working tomorrow, is putting more protein later in the day, more carbs and fats in the morning. And that's what that's what works for me, makes me happy, makes me feel good, and makes me feel like I'm not trying to like super duper restrict myself. And oh my God, like things like that. You need to make it work for you. That's the best thing that you can do, is make it work for you. And then same thing for Tuesday. Pizza is higher carb and fat content. We know this. It's not super high in protein, but it's very heavy in carbs and fats. So I'll just make sure I'm low carb, low fat for breakfast and lunch, high protein for breakfast and lunch, so that when I get to dinner and I have that pizza, I'm good. So I'm not completely blowing my macros. I might be a little bit over. That's okay if you are over. It's quite all right if you are over. It's okay if you are under, because like I said, sometimes life gets in the way, and sometimes even I don't always prepare like I should. As much as I should fully prepare, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. It's just the way, it's honestly just the way that cookie crumbles. And we do the best that we can. We really do. We do the absolute best that we can. So that's what I do, and that's how I make it work. You make it work with your schedule, with whatever works for you and fits best in for you. Just try and prep and plan ahead of time. If you know you're doing something on, say, Sunday, and you're doing a brunch, change around your macros. Plan ahead. If you know you're going to be having a special dinner out, plan ahead during the day. It's so important to plan ahead. Like, I hate the phrase, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I hate that phrase because I think it falls under the no excuses mindset. But if you don't plan ahead, you have more room for error. I like that. I like the planning ahead makes for less room for error. That's how I like to see it, and it really keeps you in a much better mindset overall. So that's just kind of what I do with my macros. That's how I plan ahead. That's how I do everything. Leave me comment, subscribe, leave me comments below with anything you want me to talk about. If you have any tips for hitting your macros or hitting your calories, leave them in the comments below, because we learn so much from other people. We learn from each other. So if you have any tips, tricks, definitely leave them below, and I will catch you all in my next video. Bye!